Rekt Guy is it's an artwork. It's a cultural icon, and it's a strong community as well. So today we're gonna cover that with OSF, founder of Rekt Guy, the artist behind it all. There's a couple other founders, but OSF is he's the architect and the artist. So yeah, without further ado, welcome, man.
Thanks for having me. I'm loving the full Rekt outfit for the documentary. I love it.
Yeah, man, I had to get it out. I've been itching to wear it. I just haven't had a chance to like be on camera. So and I don't want to like wear it out and like spill like food on it and stuff. So I'm yeah,
Only at the desk, no food around it.
Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, to you, I guess if you could go through your process behind building Rekt Guy and what you envisioned in the beginning and how it all came to be.
Yeah, it was, it's a weird one. It was never really meant to be or become anything. It was just like this character that I was drawing in my art, and it was a reoccurring character through maybe 3 or 4 different pieces. And so I thought it would be cool to make it like a profile picture project. I didn't want to charge for the mint because it wasn't supposed to be something with all these big hopes and dreams and promises. So, it ended up being a free mint. And the character is like, I don't know, it's kind of semi-autobiographical, but it's meant to be about like this person who is just like a DJ and who's ripping trades all day long, probably gambling, losing money here or there or messing up here or there. And that is like a part of everyone. You might be a full degenerate and that's like fully you, or that might just be a small part of you, but I do believe that is a part of everyone. And so, yeah, I had the idea to just make it into like a profile picture, and it took me like a few months to do because it wasn't my main focus. As I said, it was never supposed to be this great big thing. It was just like an idea that I had on the side that I thought was cool. So I kind of spent my evenings and weekends creating it. So it took a good few months, but by the time everything was done and we were ready to release it, I thought the name Rekt Guy sounded cool. Like I was already kind of fascinated by this idea of getting wrecked and the culture around it. And it was something that I could definitely resonate with. And I think a lot of people in crypto can. But by the time we launched it, it was like April, May 2022. And then a couple of weeks after the project was out, markets crashed. Everything was down 70, 80, 90% in crypto. NFTs crashed. And I guess this idea of being wrecked or being a Rekt Guy was something that lots of people could resonate with. And we just somehow managed to capture this moment in time or the zeitgeist without really intending to and without really knowing we were going to. It just happened organically. But I realized from that we kind of like, it's not like we struck a nerve, but we struck something that I think a large amount of people could resonate with. And it's a feeling that I think is always present within crypto. Like, this year Bitcoin is up 70 or 80%, but I'm sure lots of people can and will say they've still been wrecked this year. And, you might buy the top of some random shitcoin in a crypto bull market, or you might get scammed or rugged, whatever it is. Like, you're always going to get wrecked, whether it's a bull or bear market. And I think this culture is something that's always going to be there, and we just somehow managed to encapsulate within this collection.
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone I know has been wrecked in one way or another, and certainly in our community. I mean, some of the stories that are shared about people being like early to Bitcoin and like losing their wallet, losing their keys, like, and the shitcoin trades for sure. I mean, I've had multiple trades this year where I've lost thousands, but like I've also had trades where I've won more. So. Kind of one of the earlier things that you pointed out with the whole Rekt Guy story is like down bad, but never dead, right? We get wrecked and bounce back.
That's the idea. It's like, you can have a really bad day or a bad week or a bad year even. I mean, we all had a bad year last year, most of us, but it doesn't mean you're dead, like there's this kind of idea about being an underdog or being stripped of everything apart from your last your last few things, and then somehow managing to make it all back and come back strong. And I think that's the idea behind it as well. It's like, stuff can be bad and it will get bad, but it doesn't mean it's over. It's not the end. And you just kind of have to somehow hold on through and muddle your way through and figure out how you can bounce back. And I think that's part of it as well. It's this idea of getting wrecked, but it's also this idea of somehow managing to survive and still be standing.
For sure, man. In victory sweeter after you've been wrecked, for sure. A little bit like when Bane broke Batman's back, and he climbed out of the cave and came back and whooped his ass. So yeah, it's definitely resonates. Okay, 2 more questions. First one, where do you see Rekt Guy going in the future?
I think Rekt itself can be a really big brand. Like the logo is very brandable. I think the character is very brandable. I think there's a lot of IP there. So the question is, how do you expand that and make it bigger without doing it at a cost to your holders? And I think that's something that we're very switched on about and definitely thinking about. But I do think it has the potential to be this really big brand, and whether that's like clothing, whether it's drinks, whether it's, I don't know, like something to do with the sports. I don't really know. I think we're going to figure it out, and we're trying different things this year. Some stuff that will come out later this year. But I do think Rekt can be a really strong brand. I really do. And I think if we can make that successful in another avenue, that should drive value back to the original collection. And I think that's the idea. It's like, how do we take this IP and brand and logo and presence that we have within the small world of crypto, but make it a lot bigger and expand it and get more people following this culture and ideology, because I do think it's something a lot of people can resonate with. So it's a very exciting prospect, I think. It's just a question of, I think we're going to throw a lot of spaghetti at the wall, and I think something's going to stick, and it's just a question of what it is that's going to stick.
Nice. Yeah, love it. I definitely think it's relatable as well. I mean, it looks good. And resonates with everybody. Okay. What is the best Rekt Guy trait?
I can tell you the worst one. The worst one is the victory logo, but
son of a bitch.
Just had to get that in there. I would say, in my opinion, the best Rekt Guy trait, and I will say, because there are lots of very, very rare ones, and there are a lot of, like fairy lights, for example, is a super rare trait, or alien mask is a very rare trait. But I think they're too rare to be the best trait, if that makes sense, because not a lot of people can associate with them. I think the best trait is the gold hoodie, I would say, the Golden Girls, because they're not too rare where they're completely unobtainable. There's 42 of them, I believe. And right now they trade around 4 or 5 ETH. So, it's not like a crazy price, but it's the one that I think is the most visually striking and appealing. And this idea of it being gold is something everyone can resonate with, as something that has a lot of value or is rich or is desirable. I just think they look very impressive. They look like they have a lot of prowess. Like it's a very regal like trait that I think looks good in the Rekt Guy. So I think I would say, in my opinion, that's the best trait.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. I mean, from a visual perspective, it's amazing. I remember last year when our floor price was like 0.2, it was dead. Like things were bad. I suddenly got in my head that I wanted to like find a really cool Rekt Guy for like my permanent one. And not just looking through trades, the gold is what I went for. And I was able to find someone that could accommodate a trade, but gold was for sure the one that stood out to me.
Can't go wrong with the gold, can you? It's just like, it's a universally good trait, I think, but it works especially well with the Rekt Guys.
And it looks good. I mean, I like the way that you've got like the glinting added to it and everything. You made it shiny, so it looks good.
Shiny things are good.
Hell yeah, dude. Always. So I think that's it. So without further ado, we had a lot of fun interviewing several people from our community, some really great insights, some good laughs as well. So without further ado, on to the feature presentation.
It's like super fun. Everyone's super nice. You can learn like a lot of things. Even on Twitter, the community is very active, and there's a lot of support for everyone.
For Rekt Guy holders, I think that we pride ourselves on not taking things too seriously. It's a really jovial environment where people can come in and express whatever they want.
It's now almost a year, I guess, 10 months or so, that this thing is going day in, day out. Well, don't know about many other communities that are able to show such a track record. And it's not just about doing it day in, day out. It's really funny. I really look forward to it every day.
Yeah, I was hyped. Yeah, it was super exciting for me. I think, like many people in NFTs, I sort of tried to find my community, and OSF and that community was the first where I was like, wow, this really feels like home.
Again, this comes back to the image of Rekt Guy and what it embodies, and the fact to be humble about, you all get wrecked, and then plus the artwork. It's just, there's no question.
In part, the brainchild of OSF, Ovi Farouk, Rekt Guy burst on the scene in May 2022. Immediately, the crypto community took notice, embracing not only the art, but the ethos of the community.
So it was, I think it was around September or October of 2022. I posted a tweet about I wanted to start trading NFTs, and I didn't know which collection to start, but I didn't want to have like a big collection to get in. So I posted I posted a tweet, and my friend Griffin, that is a holder of Rekt Guy, told me you should check out on this collection. It's very good. And when I started looking at the collection, it was just at the time that I got hacked. So I was like just putting out money for getting my NFTs back. And then I wanted to get into Rekt Guy, so I started going into the collection. And when I got the money to get to Rekt Guy, it's actually when it went to 1th floor. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. And then after, just got in.
My friend Nick, who's a photographer in the space, came to me. I had been advising him and buying his art and stuff like that. And he was like, hey, I'm diversifying what I'm investing in. And I found this glitch art. And it was right when RLD was getting minted by OSF. I'd never heard of OSF at that time, and I didn't really like glitch art a lot. And I was like, oh, it looks like a little bit too much like X copy. And I'm really focused on like collecting photography at the moment. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm happy that you found something that you really identify with, but I'm not gonna mint the piece. Obviously, eventually I was like, oh, I made a horrible mistake. And instead of minting it at, I don't know what it was, like 0.069 ETH, I bought the top at the time for over 15 ETH to join in to RLD. I did that before the Rekt Guy mints. So I got some free Rekt Guys off of that, and some of the free mints from owning the GGen access pass. And then I got into flip finance and something like that and stuff like that. So once I decided to join the ecosystem at the top, I just decided to dive in kind of everywhere. And then the Rekt Guy mint came, and I was like, well, I feel very underexposed. So I set like a floor, and anything that went underneath that floor before reveal, I just bought. So I ended up buying 22 or 25 Rekt Guys before reveal.
I saw it on Raoul Paul's Twitter for the first time, and then the second time I guess it was in one of his reports. And this time I said, okay, I will try to buy my first NFT. I've created MetaMask and OpenSea account, and I bought first 1 or 2 Rekt Guys, and that's how it started.
I think I actually just saw the images floating around on Twitter, and I was intrigued. It's definitely of the PFPs that I own, or even the usuals that I know of. For me, it's fascinating because it's active in its expression, right? It's because of the bottle, and there's something going on that picture, which in that combination with this kind of, skull face, I always thought was fascinating. So I think I just basically was intrigued by the picture.
I first heard about OSF from a guy who used to be active in the space called Volt, and I think he went by the name Voltron. Not you remember Volt? Yeah, he ended up bailing, but he posted about something. And I was like, "Yo, what's this about?" He's like, "Yo, OSF and Mando are launching a PFP." I'm like, "Who the fuck are they?" He's like, "Bro, you gotta go in." And so I first entered, pre-Rekt Guy and started to get to know the group. And obviously it resonated a ton for me given the finance background. But yeah, that's how I first started Rekt Guy, was through him on Twitter.
I bought this one. A, I liked it. B, the orange Halloween coming out was just perfect. I'm like, you know what? Stop doodling around. Halloween is coming. I bought it. I ran down and showed them my daughters, who thought I was crazy. They've been hearing me talking about NFTs before, but I'm like, yeah, Halloween is coming. Look at this. But I think at that time I knew a little bit more what's going on. You guys had the Rec Show London coming up, and it's basically just noise on Twitter. And again, the combination that I really thought this was such a cool art and expression. And I really resonate with the fact, on the one hand, it's aggressive because of its kind of boldness and colors, but then because the whole scheme being Rekt that's actually being humble and embracing the idea that it's not always up. So yeah, I really like kind of the philosophy behind it, and that's why I bought it out of that. I didn't buy it because I was aware of what's waiting for me behind the curtain in the community. But I mean, even more so a reason to buy Rekt Guy, but I didn't know really yet.
Okay, Ro was a messenger here. The message was Rekt Guy. But yes, later I've found an article about Owe and an interview with him, and he seemed humble and honest and a good observer. His artistic style was very distinguishable. I liked it, and yes, I've later bought Red Light District, 2 copies, and all the editions. So yes, I like other parts of his magnum opus.
So I was like trying to mostly do get a Rekt Guy, but then as I said, the floor went to 1 ETH. So I was like, okay, gonna wait a little bit until it goes back down. And then I was like moderating for a project that was like doing lottery things online. And so I was like telling them you guys should get Rekt Guy into it because it's a good collection. It's like not gonna rug. It's been going very good, like not going down at the moment. So they put Rekt Guy on, and I've been trying to go for it, and I didn't win. I was like, fuck, I'm fucked. And so there was one day, it was close to my birthday, so end of December, I was moderating one night with some people, and then there was one guy that was talking to us, and he was like winning everything. He won like I think it was like a Bored Ape, few Rekt Guys. Like during this week, he was winning everything, and I was like, okay, guys, there is a pink Rekt Guy on the competition, and I love pink NFTs. So I told them this one's gonna be mine. So please don't enter the competition, and just leave me some more chance to win. And so the guys just told me like, look, I just entered, but what I can do is that if I win this one, I'm gonna send it to you. And so he ended up winning it, and then so he sent it to me. So that's how I got in.
And while the vibes were initially only positive, with big hitters like Snoop Dogg and others aping into the community, soon enough the broader macro realities reared their head as everything, especially NFTs, soon found themselves in the depths of a bear market. But true to their name, Rekt Guys just kept the party going.
Like anybody who was like, oh, Snoop bought and it's forever going to go up from there. Like, that's just not how like the NFT market works. So like people like me capitalized off of it. And other people like knew to not like get into the FOMO and the hype and like waited and then, started buying once the prices returned to like pre-reveal normal levels.
I don't know, like everything is cool. The people are good. The community. I mean, when I'm going on into a project, I really look at the community because like it's what's going to do a lot of it. So there's going to be like the floor price and everything's going to be around that. And I'm not worried if like Rekt Guy is going to 0 or if it's going to 100 ETH, because like I know the community is good and is strong and they keep buying, or they keep like, they just get it. So yeah, I really like it. Instead of some community just being like flooding and everything, like we know that in Rekt Guy, most of it, they're just happy of having their Rekt Guy and just having fun. And if it's like, if we're down bad, like everyone's having fun with it. So that's very good. And it's all positive vibes.
As my PFP, I have the Rekt Guy, and it's really about the value in Discord and kind of, I just like the interaction there. It's slightly different than the Real Vision Discord, and I'm getting so much out of there. I would say, the Degens and the Rock Radio is a combination of entertaining and information, and it's just fun to interact, while Real Vision has such deep knowledge. Sometimes, you read up on this stuff, depending on the channels, it's way above my head. But yes, again, this comes back to the image of Rekt Guy and what it embodies, and the fact to be humble about, you all get wrecked, and then plus the artwork. It's just, there's no question.
I'm sure that some mimetic icons that are reflecting this essence of the crypto culture, be it craziness, boldness, all-embracing acceptance, risk appetite, also self-irony, well, those will rise in their prominence and value. And what's embodying the zeitgeist of crypto culture better than the Rekt Guy, MFers, CryptoPunks, Pepe, or okay, maybe the best memes of 6.5 to 9. I think those are digital renaissance defining collections. And so, well, with Rekt Guy being, in my view, the best one, the most condensed one, the one with the most condensed message, and yet currently available in the range of half ETH.
I want people that I believe in, right? And a philosophy that I can follow. And so like, I don't mind most of my bags, to be honest, that I didn't sell for like tax loss harvesting, are OSF and are Rekt Guy. And people are like, well, you're overinvested. I'm like, I'll ride this shit to 0 because I believe that OSF is going to be, and Mando are going to be here long term. And if that bet doesn't work out, at least I had conviction and I felt comfortable about my bag being, so heavily involved with around one ecosystem, because there's disasters that happen every day in NFTs. And at least I don't have to worry about getting rugged, by the people at the top.
On most community, like we've seen like people going like, oh, it's going down, we're down bad, please people sweep the floor. But like, I'm just like, guys, it's so cool that it's going down, we can buy more. Like, that is good.
Indeed, while the market may still be down, these Rekt guys and gals are keeping their faith and enjoying a community that understands the fun and humor inherent to this wild world of Web3 and crypto.
Never give up, in this case, really the community, and just for this to continue and not just being cool for a year or two. I love, really like Rock Radio, and obviously everything's a little bit intertwined. So there is that kind of real life value, right? Or activity culture happening. So I'm really hoping that continues to be successful and moves forward. And then for Rekt Guy in general, I'm shocked where the flow price is, just knowing the community and knowing kind of just everything, what that means for me. Should be at 10 ETH minimum. So and I won't never buy and sell this guy, or never say never, but I cannot really see it. So let him move up to 10. I'm definitely not selling at 10. So let's hope for some real boost in the next bull market, and I think that's what Rekt Guy really deserves. So I would love to see more recognition for Rekt Guy everywhere.
It's impossible not to conclude that it's the best asymmetric opportunity in crypto space for the time being, that 10x is baked in the cake for RG just to reflect its recognizability, relatability among current NFT crowd. Once the market for legitimate artifacts of digital renaissance starts growing again, it will grow with it. So 10x squared, possibly. And yes, it fits every small, medium or large crypto portfolio at the moment, with caveat that, okay, small portfolio holders can collect it now, but will probably be priced out of the RG market in 1 year, just as they are already priced out of the punks market. And I don't know, 5 years from now, I believe RG will be part of every relevant private or institutional contemporary art collection.
I think the challenge with a PFP project is like, how do you keep it relevant, and how do you like keep people showing back up every day? And look, you even see it with Rekt Guy, which has been one of the best. Like, you know, you try stuff for a while, it succeeds for a while, and then it just peters out, or fewer people, you know. So I think the challenge, and that's why so many PFPs have a difficulty like maintaining, is how do you go from this exciting launch, cool art, cool identity, cool community, to like having people show up every day? And you talked very generously about the money click, but from the jump, I've been obsessed with like, what's going to make motherfuckers like show up here every day and care, and structuring that so there's a reason to show up, a reason to be proud you're in the community, a reason to come back, is really like the hardest thing, and most people haven't been able to accomplish it.
I'm not waiting for something especially from this community, because I know like all the meetups are going good, all the spaces and like everything is good. But I mean, if the floor can go good and so that people maybe can make some more money, I mean, it's good for everyone. But yeah, I don't have a lot of expectation, just as the project being good and like OSF and Mando and like all the founders being good. So yeah.
Like anybody who comes in is like, what's wrong with the floor price? It's like nothing. Like I'm a fan of this saying, floor it and get the fuck out, because we'll buy it and it'll go into somebody's wallet that wants to be around long term. So I think the community just understands that like there was no roadmap. It was instilled from the beginning that if you were going to be a Rekt Guy, that there was not this expectation that it was going to be run like another project. And Nostradamus, OSF, like releasing this project when it did, like we are all so wrecked from the height of the bull market. And so it just became this cultural thing where like, hey, this is where you could come and I could bitch about, you know, how much money the IRS was taking out of my pocket. And people would be like, yeah, man, that sucks. But like, you need to buy 10 more Rekt Guys because it's the pinnacle of you being wrecked. And I'm like, you're right. I do need to. And, you know, that's why I think it's a cultural project and the community will last through these cycles.